Welcome to the Asia and the Pacific Transport Forum.
The 2024 forum sharply focuses on ADB's instrumental role in leveraging transport as a dynamic catalyst for sustainable development, addressing climate change, and advancing the sustainable development goals.
We've learned so much, or made so many mistakes here in Manila when it comes to our transportation system, how it's grown over time. And we want to make sure that when we are developing transportation infrastructure in other places throughout the country, we're doing it better.
Asia's transport emissions would still not peak before 2050, whereas a net zero pathway would require emissions to peak by 2025. So there's still a lot of gap for us to fill. Multiple Pacific countries are raising their ambition towards achieving net zero carbon in shipping by 2050.
We have with us today Filipino-American rapper, breakdancer, record producer, philanthropist, Appledy App.
This is trying to research the best way to successfully electrify Philippines.
The International Road Federation works to really bridge the gap between policy and action in our sector. We do that by bringing people together to make sure that we discuss common problems and we find and build solutions together.
Renewable energy most suitable for specific modes of transport remain a question. So I think collaboration among the relevant stakeholders is really needed and very impressive.
In 2023, ADB was able to commit its highest ever level of climate finance, so at 9.8 billion, which significantly scaled up from the year before at 6.7 billion. And this included 1 billion for non-sovereign, as well as a lot of, for example, in the transport sector, it was 2.5 billion.
If you think about the travel patterns of men and women, men have fewer trips but longer trips. On the other hand, women have shorter trips because of care responsibilities, and normally they are taken off-peak. So why is that important? Because when you talk of transport, you always talk about peak conditions. You always talk about, optimization of peak conditions.
If we create a more accessible and inclusive infrastructure, it benefits not just persons with disabilities, but everyone.
Acknowledge the potential of an efficient and modern rail network to bridge the gaps between our bustling urban centers and often neglected rural communities. So the urban centers traversed by the NSCR will benefit from improved accessibility, reduced congestion, and enhanced business activities, while rural areas will reap the rewards of increased connectivity, agricultural productivity, and tourism potential.
ADB's agenda is to promote gender equality. What we do is that we usually look at the country and sector context as well as the baseline numbers of a company, and then we work with them to see how we can further the gender equality agenda in the organization.
More than the projects, let's focus on the process. Let's look at the people who are actually using the transport sector.
But what technology can do is it can help you collect ground up and user-generated data. And I think that is something, there is a power to it. And while we work with technology, I'm also very clear that technology in itself is not always empowering. But technology can be harnessed to be an enabler if we use it, we develop it, we design it, keeping diversity in mind.
ADB is proud that we are the climate bank for Asia and the Pacific, and that's also true in the transport sector, where we look to decarbonize and build pathways. Within low, middle-income countries, we're looking to raise awareness on the options available and support investments and technical assistance for that decarbonisation.